All right, welcome everybody. It's our very first foray into live video. I am Craig with Reviews.org. This is Courtney, and this is Tyler with Cut Cable Today. There's cord cutting, and then there's cable cutting. I always mess it up. All right, from Cut Cable Today. So you might be wondering why we're joining forces today. So like I said, I'm with Reviews.org. I don't even like or associate with these people, except that while I know a lot about devices, streaming devices, you know, your Apple TVs, your Amazon Fire, that sort of thing, I'm a little deficient in my knowledge of streaming services.
How to use them.
How to use those devices. And so I'm working on it. I'm learning all sorts of stuff. But hopefully together we can walk through, today our topic is fall sports, how to watch sports. And so I'm hoping that the people who will be joining this live stream will have some questions for us, but we're going to be running through some of our questions about how to watch fall sports. We'll be walking through a few sports. We're doing today NFL, MLB, playoffs.
NBA season premiere tomorrow evening.
That's right. What's the date tomorrow? Do you know?
Tomorrow's the 17th.
October 17th, NBA
Can confirm.
tips off. I learned that the NBA tips off and that the NFL kicks off.
Yes.
I don't watch basketball because I'm probably not a real American. I don't know what that means, but I've never really cared much for basketball. So I'm glad you guys are here because you'll be able to answer my questions about it.
That's right.
Now, first of all, while we're waiting for people to kind of trickle in, I wanted to ask you guys, so when you watch sports, do you tend to stream them and DVR them and watch them after the fact, or do you prefer to go live? Tyler, let's go to you first.
Okay. I'm passionate about this subject. I remember when my family first got DVR. The year was 2003 or something like that.
I feel like you're setting up a real a journey for us.
This is a huge anecdote about DVR and how it compares to life in general. But DVR back in the day was incredible. You could watch Lakers games, for example, that evening, skip the commercials, fast forward the free throws. Or with football,
now you're
skip a few
speaking my
plays.
language.
But now we live in a different era where it's all about communal watching with social media, with Twitter. Part of the experience of watching sports is reacting with everybody else on Twitter, seeing reactions, being involved in the conversation. So I'm not sure if it matters as much now as it did, but it really depends on your life and how crazy it is,
So this used to be like when I would invite all my neighbors and relatives over for to watch the Super Bowl, and we'd all cram into the living room.
Yes.
Now every game is like that, and Twitter is your living room.
Yes,
That's by the way, the saddest sentence I've ever uttered.
Yeah, those days are gone. No more. Yeah. So it's all about watching sports with strangers, and that's what live TV. Watching live is all about.
What about you, Courtney?
I'm with Tyler in that I prefer live TV for sports, but for different reasons. I play fantasy sports. So it's kind of like spoilers. Like I'm constantly checking on my fantasy teams when I know games are going on. So what is the point of watching it after the fact if I already know who scores and what happens? So
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. So, all right. Like we said, there are a few things coming up. There's the MLB postseason, the NBA tipping off tomorrow. What are you guys most excited for, Courtney?
Oh man, I am really excited about the World Series. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I do watch the World Series. So, yeah, it's kind of a fall thing for me.
Oh, again, not a true American.
I know. Yeah. I'm a total communist.
Yeah.
But I am also really excited for the rest of the NFL season. Right now, my fantasy teams are middling, so I'm hoping that that'll turn around. But, as far as sports, that's what I'm excited about.
All right. Tyler?
For me, it's absolutely the NBA. NBA is the best sport, in short words. It's so entertaining, especially after this off season we just enjoyed with so many players moving to different teams, and there's a lot of narratives and stuff going on. It's going to be an exciting season.
The way you talk about it reminds me of how one of my previous bosses used to talk about professional wrestling. He loved the storylines.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's how you watch the NBA. We won't be talking wrestling today. I'm sorry.
We'll have a different one, purely dedicated to wrestling.
Purely
perhaps
professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. All right. Well, I got to be honest. I'm not that excited anymore because I'm an MLB regular season guy and not so much a playoffs guy. The reason why is because I root for the Mariners.
And they're bad.
And they suck.
Yeah.
They suck pretty bad. They have the longest, right now they have the longest active streak of any MLB team not making it to the playoffs. They haven't made it since 2001, and I want to die.
Were those Ken Griffey days? Is that why? 2001?
No, 2001 was like Ichiro's heyday.
Oh, okay.
I think Griffey had left at that point already. So
maybe the Cubbies curse just got transferred to the Mariners or something.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Stick with it, man.
All right, well, let's get into the meat of things. Once again, for anybody who's just joining us, I'm Craig with Reviews.org. I've got Tyler and Courtenay with us, and we will want to go through your questions. And so, if you have any questions for us as you join the feed, make sure you shout them out. How to watch different sports and on different services. You just let us know, and we'll see if we can answer those questions. But let's talk, first of all, because it is kicking off tomorrow, let's talk NBA. Tyler, I know this is your forte. Tell us a little bit about just your general impressions, which streaming service you like, what you think kind of the overall best setup is, and then we'll get into kind of exceptions to that rule. But what do you think to watch the NBA?
Okay, cool. It definitely depends on location, first of all, because I'd say the two best options are either NBA League Pass or PlayStation Vue.
Okay.
So League Pass is perfect for fans who live outside the market of their favorite team, or fans that are just NBA junkies and want to watch as many games as possible.
Okay.
And then PlayStation Vue is what I'd recommend for local fans. If you're let's say, Chicago Bulls fan living in Chicago area, PlayStation Vue is great because the streaming service, the streaming quality is top-notch. We've tested all of them. PlayStation Vue is the most consistently smooth. Has a lot of channels, has the main ones you need for national TV, ESPN, TNT, ABC, and it has your local sports network too. Mm-hmm. And it streams on tons of devices. It's the only streaming service that streams on PlayStation, for example.
For obvious reasons.
Hence the name. And so, depending upon if you're in the market of your favorite team, I would say PlayStation Vue. But if you're outside the market of your favorite team, for sure, NBA League Pass.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, well, first of all, I do want to say we've got a message from Elaine. She wanted to know about Discovery Channel stuff. Elaine, we are going to be getting to that probably after some of the sports stuff. We want to talk about the fall sports first, and then we'll get to more general stuff later on. So hang in there, and we will try to get to that in a little while. So I hope you'll bear with us. Now, you were asking, or you were saying something about your favorite team. It depends on where your favorite team is located.
Yes.
Now, your favorite team is apparently the cartoon version of the Lakers.
Yes, the 1990s Lakers with Nick Van Exel and Horace Grant, the good old days. Just kidding. So I'm a Lakers fan, and I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a long story. But in my situation, NBA League Pass is absolutely the way to go, because I'll get access to every Lakers local game, which is 50 or 60 games. But Lakers will also be playing on ESPN, TNT, on the national TV programs as well. So the best combination to get every Lakers game would be League Pass and a PlayStation Vue.
Right.
Yes, and with those two combined, I can enjoy every game of what will surely be a losing season.
That makes sense. All right. So let's say there's another popular team out there right now, the Warriors, also in California.
Yeah.
Are they in a different situation, or is California kind of a big monolith as far as how you watch these, or how should I put this? Are they out of market if I'm in LA?
Yes, they are.
So I can use NBA League Pass at that point.
Northern California and Southern California, we don't see eye to eye. Courtney can confirm. We're both from Southern California.
It's like two different states.
Two different states, basically. And so Warriors, yes, they're going to be on tons of national television. So you might get away with just getting a PlayStation Vue and getting your ESPNs and TNTs, because they're going to be on almost every single week. But if you're a diehard Warriors fan, it's the same thing of having a combination of League Pass and a major streaming service, and you get all those games.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, now we did get a question from Daniel, which was kind of the obvious one. How much is League Pass? So for NBA League Pass, how much am I fronting there?
So it depends on which package you sign up for. I believe the cheapest one is $17.99. You get to pick.
I want that one.
Yeah.
I'm poor.
You pick one team and
Just
you get
one.
all of their games.
So what was it? $17.99 a month.
$17.99 a month. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, haven't we as a society gotten past the 99 cents thing?
No, we're still there.
Personally, I'm a little tired of it. Why don't you just tell me it's $18 a month?
I don't know, Craig. I feel like
Whatever.
it's closer to $17.
Go on.
So yeah, $17.99 a month gets you one team, or
Choose
alternatively,
carefully.
yes, I'll choose carefully.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could sign up for the $28.99 per month package, which gets you all teams, all games, except for the ones broadcast on national TV. Is that right, Tyler?
Yes, those will be blacked out. If the game's on ESPN, TNT, or ABC, it will be blacked out on League Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware.
Yeah. Or best of all, you could get the $39.99 a month package. That gets you all games, and it's commercial free. So during the commercial breaks, instead of cutting to commercials, you actually get what's going on the courts. You can watch the halftime show, and you can watch the huddles and the cheerleaders, and basically you get the experience
Back
like
to
you're.
cheerleaders.
Yes.
Rewind.
Craig.
There are some interesting halftime shows. Are you familiar with the Red Panda?
No. What?
So this is a great YouTube search if you're feeling like it. The Red
Okay.
Panda is this incredible woman who balances on a unicycle and has these spinning plates and cups and stuff like that. And she flings them up and she catches them on her head. And she is an incredible performer.
At whose halftime show?
She's all over the place.
Oh, really?
Like she travels.
Okay.
And I think she alone justifies the cost of NBA League Pass. So, yeah.
If she would like to sponsor our next live stream, I think we've already done our part.
Yeah. But if we had to recommend one to the person who had a question, I would say the middle package is probably what you're looking at for $28.99 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You get access to your favorite team plus every other team. It's like a $10 difference from the base package, and the amount of NBA you're getting for just an extra $10, I think is definitely worth it.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's what I'd recommend.
All right, very good. So the other thing that comes up a lot is that some games get streamed on network channels. ABC is a big NBA broadcaster, right? And ABC is going to be kind of tough. Sometimes people have issues if they use a streaming service like PlayStation View. They can't get ABC on there every once in a while. What do you suggest?
Honestly, with ABC, as far as the NBA goes, ABC is the only local station that carries NBA games. However, everything that's broadcast on ABC is also broadcast on ESPN3. So if you get Sling TV, ESPN3 is folded into the interface. You can watch it all through Sling.
Is that on there on the Sling base package, or do you have to get like the big beefy one?
It's on Sling Orange,
Yes.
Sling
which
Orange.
is the one that costs $20 a month.
Sweet.
Yes.
But like as far as ABC goes, again, I mean, it's all on ESPN3. If you don't get Sling and you get a different streaming service, you can log into the ESPN TV Anywhere
Watch
app.
ESPN app.
Watch ESPN app, thank you. And basically any streaming service will give you login credentials that make that work, and you can catch those games via ESPN, the Watch ESPN app.
Yeah, and the ABC games are fairly rare.
Yes.
Yeah, there's maybe a few a month. The
Mhm.
ones on Christmas Day are definitely worth watching.
Yeah, they're going to be more during the playoffs as well.
Yeah, but that Watch ESPN app, which you can authenticate with a PlayStation View, DirecTV Now subscription.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and that
Yeah.
the Watch ESPN app streams on basically every device, on
Right.
your Apple TVs, Chromecast, etc.
So
Worst case.
Apple TV, or sorry, ESPN has not stopped being omnipresent in my life.
It's everywhere.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, if you don't want to sign up for a streaming service, but you just want to get those ABC games, you can just get a digital antenna, plug it into your TV, and you'll get your local ABC station.
That's what I was going to suggest. I tried a digital antenna years ago,
Yeah.
and it sucked. And I had a miserable experience with it. And I don't know, the tech must have got better or something, because I plugged one in a few months ago, and it was crystal clear HD picture. I loved it. So
And honestly, it depends on where you plug it in and where you
right,
place it
and
in
where
the
you live and
house.
how close you are to the tower and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I that could have been part of the experience at first, but okay, that's good to know.
By the way, if you're thinking about getting a digital antenna and you're not sure which one to get, we do have a guide to that on cutcabletoday.com. Just visit our website, type in antenna reviews, and it'll take you right there. So
That was the
Yeah.
most pro call out I've ever heard.
Thank you.
CutCableToday.com. You can go check that out there. Go check out their guide.
And this is our first stream too, and we're just dropping plugs like it's nothing.
Personally, I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
I don't really belong here, obviously.
Yeah, and quick thing about antennas is they're not like the old school Simpsons antenna where it's like 3, 4, 5 feet outside of your TV.
Or the old rabbit ears.
Or the old rabbit ears.
Although you can get those still.
Yes, you can.
Sure, if you like that vibe. Courtney, you have an antenna, right?
I do have an antenna.
And you just kind of slap it on the wall, right?
We don't even slap it on the wall. We either stick it on our entertainment center right under our TV, or if we're getting bad reception, we extend it and put it on the floor somewhere.
Do you ever have like when your kids just like stand and be in the perfect spot?
No, we
No?
never need
Okay,
to.
Good parent. Cool.
By the way, I think you should know, Tyler, that Danny is with you. She loves the red panda.
Excellent. Yes.
So.
Yes, Danny.
Danny has good taste.
She has very good taste. Thank you for your comment.
All right, so I'm wondering, we may come back to the NBA. We probably aren't done with it, but let's move on to a different sport. Before we do, let's see if there are any questions that we want to address. Actually, you know what? Do we want to talk a little bit before we get to the NFL? Maybe we talk about NHL, just briefly.
Okay.
Is this like a weak spot for us? I don't really follow hockey, and so
Honestly, when it comes to streaming, it's a very complicated sport.
Yeah.
Just because NHL games, there are a lot of them, first of all, and a lot of those games are going to be broadcast on your local sports station. So there's not really one streaming service that has every local sports station. So it's really hard to nail down exactly what's going to work for you in particular.
yeah.
The best advice that we can offer there is check out your team's page. It usually breaks down who is carrying each game, and then go to the different streaming service providers, type in your zip code, and check to see if those networks are available in your area. That's honestly the best advice that we can give there. It's just there are so many, and it's very complicated.
Yeah, because Laura was asking, how do I get NHL this season without paying them $25 a month?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if there's a great like one size fits all without knowing a lot more about the situation.
Yeah,
you
I
might not be
mean,
able to say.
The best advice that we can give, there are a couple of streaming services that tend to offer more local sports channels than others. So, for instance, Fubo TV, that's a fairly new streaming service. They're very sports centered. So if you're into soccer, for instance, there's a lot of local channels that carry your local soccer team. Or, and the same with NHL. They carry all the beIN Sports channels, and there are like 10 of them.
And what was the name of the service again?
Fubo TV.
Fubo.
Yes,
Okay.
Fubo. So they're a decent option. PlayStation Vue is another good one. They have a lot of local channels.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, when it comes to sports, PlayStation Vue offers really great picture quality. There's very little glitching, and for sports, that's like essential.
Yeah, and if
Especially
you're,
in hockey, where the puck is like small.
Can I
That's
be
true.
honest with you? That's why I've had trouble ever getting into hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I watch it live, it's really exciting
Yeah.
and a ton of fun to watch. And then I watch it on TV, and I can't figure out what's going on.
yeah.
You have to get in the habit of figuring
I guess
out
I'm
where
not
the
a
puck is.
guess I'm not a true Canadian either.
I guess.
Whatever.
You just don't belong in this world.
All right, so let's move on then to a different sport. For those of you who have joined the feed recently, once again, I'm Craig. I'm with Reviews.org, and you can go there for some of the same information. We cross over a little bit with CutCableToday.com, but we thought we'd join forces today for this Q&A session. So let's see. We did have a question about the World Series. All right, so let's bite the bullet and start talking about the World Series. Best way, Brett wants to know the best way to stream the World Series. Who's carrying it this year? Is it Fox?
It's Fox.
It's always Fox.
It's always
since
Fox.
I've been a little kid, I
Yeah.
think. So how do I do it?
Well, it's kind of, Fox is one of those, it's a local station, so if you're going to sign up for a streaming service, you want to check local channel availability in your area. Type in your zip code, make sure that you get a Fox station. Otherwise, you could sign up for a streaming service and not get the World Series, which would suck.
Yeah, the tricky thing is you can go to all these companies' websites, to Sling TV, DirecTV Now, etc. You're going to see Fox on their channel offerings, but there'll probably be a little star or a little asterisk, and that's because it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
and they'll usually
And don't they? Sometimes it'll say Fox, but it's on-demand content only,
Yeah.
and you can't watch it live.
watch out for that too.
Right, and for
yeah.
sports, usually if it's on-demand content only, that means you just don't get
You're not gonna
access
get
to
it.
games at all.
Yes, yeah. So at those same websites, they will have a zip finder there that you can click and put in your zip code, and it'll tell you exactly what local stations you're going to get with that streaming service.
Yes.
But that could also be a potential antenna thing too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, if none of these streaming services carry Fox in your area, just plug in a digital antenna. They're like $30. We really like the Mohu Leaf 50. It's a good all-purpose antenna. It works for most people.
Buy it off Amazon.
Buy it off of Amazon. It's great. It's like $30. So
Now, World Series aside, if I'm prepping for next year, because I'm always prepping for next year. I'm a Mariners fan. That's all I have to live
Maybe
for.
next year.
is next year.
Yeah, next year's your year.
So, what overall is the best streaming service to watch MLB? What's your favorite way to do it? I can tell you how I do it, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say.
I mean, for me personally, it's PlayStation View. A common misconception with PlayStation View is that you need to watch it on PlayStation, which you don't. We've honestly, with the playoffs, we've been trying to watch a few games here and there, and we've found that some of these streaming services carry them in our area, but it's glitchy, it cuts out. PlayStation View, they just have the capability for really smooth live streaming, so we really prefer PlayStation View personally. But
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're really operating on a budget, Sling Blue is another good option. It only costs $25 a month, and you get your TBS and your Fox, which I know are the two probably biggest channels for watching the MLB.
Fox Sports as well.
Yeah, you are sacrificing, and Fox Sports, you are sacrificing a little bit of streaming quality, I would say, and that doesn't include cloud DVR.
Sling over
Sling
PlayStation
over, yeah,
View,
thank you. Sling over PlayStation View is higher quality overall, but you're paying for it. That's why it costs $35,
$39.99 a month.
$39.99 a month. So
$39.99 a month.
$39.99.
There it is
$39.99.
again.
so many nines in that number. So you have to do some soul searching and ask yourself, what's more important, the quality of the experience or the impact on your wallet?
Okay, fair enough. I actually am a huge fan of MLB.tv.
Okay.
And I sign up for it every year. So there's a couple of options. If I just want to watch the Mariners, and I just want to watch the Mariners, I pay $90. At least for the last 2 years, it's $90, and I can watch every game that's not blacked out. I can watch it live on MLB.tv, and they'll also archive all the games, so I can watch the entire season through the entire season. So that's a good service. And then for an extra $20 or $30 a month, you can watch every single out-of-market team. So it's kind of like what you were talking about with NBA League Pass. I'm sure they operate very similarly. So I've been a big fan of that because you can usually get like a channel on your Roku or your Amazon device that's just for MLB TV, and it works like a dream. I love it.
There you go.
All right, so let's go back and do just a couple more questions We'll probably go for just a few more minutes, and so if you're lurking there watching and you haven't decided if you want to ask your questions now. Hopefully we can get to them, but we'll go until at least 7:30 or so, and hopefully get to everybody's questions. But if we don't get to you, we'll try to hop on and reply after the stream is over. So if we don't get to you, sorry about that. But
Can we actually circle back to Elaine's question, or are we saving that for later?
yes, I was just about to go there. Why don't you go?
Excellent.
Yeah, go there.
Great. So, Elaine, if you want to watch Discovery Channel and you want to cut the cord, there are really only two options. One, DirecTV Now. They're $35 a month for the most basic package, and that's all you need to get Discovery. And they do offer it on demand as well, so that's a big plus. Your other option is going to be PlayStation View. It's $5 more per month, well, $4.99 per month more. And that's for, the most basic package, which is Access. As far as we know, they do not offer Discovery on demand with PlayStation, but we need to test that a little bit more. But the plus with PlayStation View that you don't get with DirecTV Now is PlayStation View does have a built-in DVR that comes with your service. DirecTV Now does not. So if you're trying to DVR or Discovery Channel shows to watch later, PlayStation View is going to be your best bet.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. By the way, we had Craig Blair hopping on and asking about the antennas. I think somebody in the background has already linked to the Mohu Leaf that you mentioned. So he said he's tried 6 different antennas and none of them have worked, and he's less than 20 miles from the tower.
You know,
I don't. Sometimes, who knows?
Yeah.
There's some sort of interference. Do you live under power lines? I don't know.
honestly, I have a friend of mine who lives down in like a ravine. It's not even like a ravine, but it's just got
A little
two
depression.
hills, little depression, and it blocks all the signals. He can't get satellite TV. He can't get antenna. Like, nothing works except for a hardwired cable, which we do not like. But sometimes it's
Sometimes
just
you
the
have to
best
find that
option for
bullet.
your location.
Last resort.
So wait, you're saying you're from cutcabletoday.com and you don't like the cable?
What? No. we
Yeah.
don't like
Color
it.
me confused.
Yeah. I saw that Craig also had another question.
Yeah.
The age-old, can I watch this for free? He wants to know if he can watch
Yes.
the Pac12 Network for free. And Craig, from one sports fan to another, I'm sorry, but you can't. At least
Not
yet.
legally.
Not legally. Yeah. You can take that risk if you want. Wouldn't recommend that either. But that doesn't mean there aren't some good options for watching the Pac-12 network.
Yeah.
What do you think, Courtney?
Honestly, the way that we usually watch that kind of material is we use my in-laws' cable login and use their TV Anywhere app.
Yeah.
So
Gotta love those in-laws, man.
yeah, they carry us. Thank you, mother and father.
Yeah, wherever you are out there. But to watch the Pac-12 network, you have two options. You have Sling TV, and you can watch that with Sling Orange or Sling Blue. That's how they divide their two channels. And the most important thing is you add the Sports Extra add-on. That's where the Pac-12 network is. So that'll cost you an extra $5 a month if you go with Sling Orange, or an extra $10 a month if you go with Sling Blue. And that's what we would recommend. I mean, your other option is Fubo TV, which is a bit more expensive. And a lot of Fubo TV's channels are soccer related. So if you happen to be a college football guy and a soccer guy, Fubo could be a good fit for you. But I would recommend going with Sling. Give the free trial a go, see if you like it, and you can stream the Pac-12 network there.
You just made one enemy, because I know there was one comment already that was basically just boo Sling.
Boo Sling?
So,
I'm curious why. I mean, tell us why. If you have strong feelings, I'm curious.
I don't know. Yeah, some people just it's
It's like
sometimes
picking a
it's
team, sort of. You know?
maybe. But I think kind of like Craig's comment with the antenna, and he tried 6 different antennas and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating.
Sometimes, who knows? There was a glitchy experience on Sling, and that can just turn you off forever. And I guess I understand that.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
honestly, cutting the cord is a lot like parenting. Different techniques work differently for every single person. Honestly, like one person Sling might be.
That was beautiful. By the
Thank
way.
you. For some people, Sling TV is like the perfect option, and for others, it is the absolute worst. So
Yeah.
it really just kind of depends on where you live and what you like and what's important for you.
Yeah, and their whole claim to fame is being the cheapest,
Yeah.
too. You know, so you are getting the cheapest price out there for streaming service. However, it might carry some issues with streaming quality, channels, etc. So it depends, I guess.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and get into the NFL. We did get a question from Ken a little bit earlier. Any chance that DirecTV Now will add the PlayStation, that DirecTV Now will add the NFL Network this season? My guess is that they've already signed their contracts. They're not going to be updating that this season.
Yeah, it's unlikely to happen this season.
That's
But
too bad.
It's always possible that it will happen next season.
But favorite way to watch the NFL in general?
You know, in general, I really like PlayStation View for many of the same reasons that we've already discussed. The picture quality is just great, which for sports is really important. Most especially, I like PlayStation View because for their, core package. I'm sorry. Core package is $44.99 a month. That includes the majority of the sports channels that they offer, including NFL networks. You can get those Thursday night games. It includes ESPN, so you can get Monday night games. And honestly, PlayStation View has some of the best local channel availability, so you're more likely to be able to get CBS and NBC and Fox, which carry those Sunday afternoon games.
Yeah,
and Sunday
if you're a
evening.
basketball fan, it's also got TNT, NBA TV, ESPN. So it's probably the best catch-all for most sports, I would say.
Yes.
PlayStation View is, you mean?
PlayStation View.
At least right now. Fubo TV is actively going after those sports stations. They're trying to be your number one provider for sports.
Yeah.
And depending on your area, if they have Fox and NBC and CBS in your area, they might be the best. So
The biggest problem with Fubo, though, is just the lack of ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, name a sport. Chances are there's something on ESPN that you're going to miss out on.
Yeah.
But once they do acquire ESPN, I'm sure they will, since sports is kind of their calling card, Fubo will definitely be in closer competition with it.
Yeah, they're a newer service, and so like something like Sling or PlayStation View, these have been around for a long time. They've been signing contracts for years and all that. So give Fubo some time to catch up.
That's right.
Now, it should be noted while we're talking about ESPN, these recommendations are really only good for this season because by the time we get around to next season, ESPN's streaming app is going to be up and running, and it's possible that you might not even be able to get ESPN via cable package, via streaming service. And honestly, we're just waiting to see on that. The ESPN streaming app is supposed to go live in spring of 2018, so by next football season, it could be a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
So.
It's a brave new world.
Yep.
Scary.
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah. Something important to note that I discovered this year, which is pretty cool, while we're talking about NFL, Thursday Night Football, they are streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And
At
I know
least most games.
Most games. I think like 10-ish games this season are streaming on Amazon Prime. I know, Courtney, you tested this out recently.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience.
Honestly, like it was fine. I think if you do not have the NFL Network, which my household we don't, it's a great option, especially because so many people are already subscribed to Amazon Prime. That's that service where you get the free shipping and the
TV shows
and the TV shows. Yeah. So if you already have Amazon Prime, which there's a good chance you do, it's a great way to stream those Thursday night football games if you don't want to sign up for an extra service that has the NFL Network. There are some limitations to Amazon Prime streaming. It was a smidge on the glitchy side. Amazon tends to offer on-demand shows, and they're just barely dipping their toes into the live streaming game. So it was a little bit on the glitchy side. Also, if you were trying to watch Thursday Night Football for week 9, 12, or 17 of the regular season, Amazon is a no-go. So
that is very specific. I am impressed with your off-the-cuff knowledge.
Thank you.
Hats off to you, Courtney. All right, so I'm trying to see if there are any other questions that came in before we cut and run. I know we did get a question about Tableau. Who was it? Was asking. It's basically a DVR for cord cutters. So if you want to record your streaming TV, go check out Tableau, and you can check out, again, our review of that, or their review of that, because I'm with a different site. All right, so...
We're live again.
Another thing about Tableau, real quick, is I use Tableau all the time because they have this zip finder on their website where you can type in your zip code, and it'll tell you what local stations you'll get with an antenna. So if you're thinking about the antenna, visit Tableau, put in your zip code to get a better idea of what you'll be able to watch.
All right. So we got a question from Christine. I can watch Netflix on the Netflix app on my iPad with my HDMI cable to my TV, but why can I not watch a program from my CBS app like NCSI on my TV? It will not play on it. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure I followed exactly, but if I did, it has to do with permissions over HDMI. HDMI as a technology has a built-in stopper for, what am I trying to say, for copyrighted content. And so sometimes, depending on the settings that the broadcaster puts on there, they won't let it transmit the way that you're trying to do it. Anyway, that might be the best.
Yeah, and CBS is extremely protective of its content because they just launched their CBS All Access app, CBS All Access service. So yeah, they're very proprietary about that. So
Yeah,
All
CBS
right.
is one of the trickier channels to stream.
yes.
But luckily, that app that Courtney just mentioned, or that service, only costs $4.99 a month.
Yeah.
So if you're into CBS shows, if you're into football, $5 a month isn't much, so it might be worth it.
Right.
But you can also test and put in your zip code and see if you get CBS with an antenna or a streaming service.
Right.
Yeah.
Laura says, thank you for doing this tonight. You're welcome, Laura.
Thank you for being here, Laura.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
This is not the last time we'll do this. This is only the first time. We work not far from each other, and so we'll get to do lots of live streams together, I hope.
For sure.
And so, save up those questions, and we'll answer those questions. Hopefully, we'll be able to hop on here regularly. All right. Before we run, let's see, one more very specific question. Corey wants to know, what is the best way to watch the Washington Redskins? What say you?
Washington Redskins.
Let's look into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe we post an answer to that after
we can reply to that one.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns out we're not omniscient. Sorry, Corey.
Not yet.
We're getting there, but we will answer your question. So if anybody's watching this later, we'll have that answer in the comments. All right. So you guys, thank you very much for coming on.
Craig.
And once again, I'll tell anybody who's watching, if we happened not to get to your question during this live stream, I apologize, but we will try to answer that in the comments. We'll reply to your comment there. If you are watching on the Reviews.org YouTube channel, that means you are not watching it live, because we're only doing it live here on Facebook. But we'll save this video and put it on there. Thanks to all of you guys for watching, and go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and we'll answer those as well. So cutcabletoday.com.
Yep.
Once again, you can go check that out there. And I'll plug my site as well. Reviews.org is where you can go to learn some of the same information, although right now we, or at least I, on the video side, I kind of have concentrated more on the device side of things. So for instance, I can tell people that it sounds like you guys love PlayStation Vue. And one of the things about that service is it confuses the crap out of people, because they say, I don't have a PlayStation. Too bad.
Yeah.
But PlayStation Vue is a completely separate service, and you can watch it on all sorts of different devices. You can watch PlayStation Vue on your Apple TV and on your Roku, and on, And so don't let that throw you off. Anyway, so I hope you guys will give us a visit. Head to cutcabletoday.com and reviews.org for more information about cutting the cord. See that phrase?
Yeah, cutting cable, all of it. It's all good.
Anyway, and we'll be happy to answer your questions there as well. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.